What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today I did take my first losing trade this week. The last losing trade I took, I think, was Wednesday or Thursday last week, and yeah, today is my first loss in a little while. So let's get into it. I was wrong about my bias and my drawn liquidity, which is probably the reason for this loss. So let's break down my analysis. I was bearish today, and as you can see, price has gone up quite substantially. So yeah, let's get into why I was bearish, why I took this losing trade, and why I still think it was a good setup to take again in the future. Losing is part of our edge. That is what the first thing you have to understand. Everyone that was on live stream took this well. It's part of the edge. Sometimes you're going to take losing trades. Unfortunately, we do not have a 100% win rate strategy yet, but we're working on it. Anyway, this was the market just before open. We had equal lows below, equal highs above, right? So I was leaning more bearish, and the reason I was leaning more bearish is because of the higher time frame. If you look on the 4-hour time frame, we have respected and delivered off of the 50% of this range quite bearishly. Not only that, but you align this with this 4-hour bearish fair value gap. We're respecting this, and we're looking quite bearish. So I was slightly more bearish. I wasn't strongly bearish. I was open to long positions. But what did we do straight off of open today? Price dumped. So this kind of signified my bearish bias. And what did we do here? Instead of tapping into this lower hourly fair value gap, we left sort of relative equal lows here. So I thought this was a really nice engineer of liquidity, and I was ready to short back towards this. So if you actually look at the 4-hour, when this candle closes, we do get the inverse back to the downside. It's not a very convincing candle close, but nevertheless, we still inverse this 4-hour after delivering from the 50% and this higher time frame gap. So I was still leaning bearish. On top of that, we respected the 15-minute fair value gap, and we respected the 5-minute fair value gap. So if we just go back here, as you can see, closed inside of this 15-minute gap, respecting it. We also respected this 5-minute fair value gap. Now, one issue I will say today with shorts is that we did have this sort of buy side above. Primarily, it was these 15-minute equal highs. So that was the only problem with my short setup today. However, I was more bearish overall, so I was waiting to be proven wrong. And everything at the moment was proving my bias to be right. So we inversed the 4-hour, we respected this 5-minute, and we also respected the 15-minute. So what was my final confirmation to think, okay, we're going to distribute these hourly lows and this unfilled hourly? Was for this 5 minutes to get inversed. If we had a strong momentum inverse to the downside, that was enough of price telling me that we want to go to sell side liquidity. So as you can see, we get back-to-back bearish candles with pretty good momentum. And that is where I entered short on my only trade today. I had a hard stop at the high of this body. I did risk a little lighter today. Reasonably intentionally, I just sized down a contract due to the fact that we were getting a bad close. And also, it is the day of FOMC, which probably also does not help this trade position. So I entered the candle close. My break-even was clearly this internal low. So I would have moved my stop loss to break-even if we hit this. And I was targeting the unfilled hourly. And of course, as always, I would have scaled at a 1R, so around the break-even point. So if we play price through, you can see after this first candle, I said on stream, this is not a good sign. You want to see price flush here if we're truly going to go lower. This was a very bullish candle, very, very bullish sign. And as you can see, after the next 5-minute candle, we do get wrecked. And it was a very, very quick losing trade, which I'm absolutely fine about. This was a high probability setup. There was two issues with this trade that I need to journal and reflect on. Number one, we had 15-minute equal highs above, but even still in the moment, and even now looking back on this, we were 100 points away from them. The way we'd respected all these PD arrays showed to me that we were still more bearish to the hourly unfilled, and of course, the new day opening gap that we failed to tap into yesterday. So I thought we were potentially going to leave these equal highs above. I accepted the risk on this short. I know that this short has a positive win rate, probably a 70% win rate down to the break-even point and down to the unfilled hourly. And unfortunately today, this trade happened to be a losing trade. I was wrong about my bias. and it's a statistical loss, and it's part of my edge. I locked out after one loss, which is my rules. If anyone is struggling with psychology, I would heavily recommend to just stop after one loss. It would have been so easy to revenge trade today, and you have to make sure that doesn't happen. And I emphasize this on my live streams every single day. So pretty quick recap today. We're only 5 minutes in. Pretty quick recap. I've not really got much else to dive into. This was the only trade I took today. The only trade I liked. Another negative was probably ES. We did have a 15-minute fair value gap above that we could manipulate into. But again, ES came really close this low. So I was happy with the sell side draws we had today. And unfortunately didn't play out. Still 2 wins, 1 loss on the week. So up on the week still. 2 days to go. We step back, look at the week, look at the month. Do not look at each singular day and your profits on each day. You've got to step back and look at the weekly and the monthly. So, any questions about today, let me know. Like I said, happy with the loss. Just need to journal and look at obviously the 15-minute equal highs and stuff like that. And also with it being the session before FOMC, it's actually Powell's last FOMC tonight. So that could definitely play a negative impact on trading. So, and like I said, any questions, let me know. If you are interested in more free educational content, make sure to drop a sub to the channel and get involved in the free Discord with one of the top links in the description. And I'll see all of you guys in my next YouTube video.